I got some new games. Oh, what a glorious day. Oh, get new games. The kids show you can wait. Hey everybody, Jim here with another pickups video. I recently went to like 3 different hard-offs and I made a trip to Akihabara to pick up some games. So I have like a whole, just as Nate from Thrift Dwellers would say, just a whole truckload of pickups. So especially a lot of PC Engine. I was very fortunate to find a lot of PC Engine stuff these past few weeks. So let's take a look at what I got. Alright, first up, I got a few cool things here. In a hard-off somewhere for like 10 bucks, I picked up a black Game Boy Pocket, which is good because I didn't actually have any Game Boy at all, minus the Game Boy player. So this is awesome. I can play all my Game Boy games in the palm of my hand. I can take it with me and play it in the bathroom at work. It's awesome. So a Game Boy Pocket. Here's something I've been looking for a really long time. Actually, just couldn't find any of them in the condition I wanted to. It is a Pocket Station. It's for those of you who don't know, Pocket Station is essentially like a VMU for the PlayStation. It functions as a memory card, and then games that are compatible with it, you can take that saved game data and then play little games on it. For instance, Street Fighter Alpha 3, you can build up your characters. It's compatible with the Mega Man Complete Works games and other various games. So it's a lot like a VMU. And this one, though the box has obviously been opened before, I'm going to take it out here. The actual VMU itself, if I can get it out, has never been removed from its plastic package. It actually still has the little tab to pull, that you pull to get it started. But here it is, a Pocket Station. It's the crystal version, and it even comes with a little cool little strap to put on it. I guess if you want to carry your Pocket Station around with you, you probably would. But there it is. It is a Pocket Station, which I haven't even used yet. I'm looking forward to saving some Street Fighter characters onto this thing and testing it out. I've been wanting one ever since I saw a little, a video on it on one of the PlayStation Underground jam packs. They had a little segment on the Pocket Station, which unfortunately never came out outside of Japan, so that's lame. But now I have one and I'm stoked. And then I got myself a boxed Mario Paint set. So it's got the mouse, the pad, and a copy of Mario Paint in it. I haven't tested any of it out yet. I'm hopeful that it'll work, and it only cost me $5. So I was happy to find that. It's a little Mario Paint set, and that's just a few of the cool gaming things I've gotten recently that aren't actually games. Okay, got some really awesome stuff for some Nintendo systems recently. This I found in a bargain bin in a hard-off. It was $3, just like last time I found its sequel, just lying there for $3. I couldn't believe it. Got myself a copy of DuckTales for the Famicom. This game is fantastic, an absolute classic in my opinion, at least, for the NES and Famicom. Really fun. Really amazing soundtrack, just an excellent Capcom 2D platformer. DuckTales. Found this one, I was super excited to find it. I've never played it before. It was popular enough to get repro carts in the States. It's a copy of Sweet Home, which I guess you could kind of call the granddaddy of all survival horror games. It's like a survival horror JRPG in a way, but it's fun. You got your 5 characters. They each have their own unique skills. You can, pass the items around. You got to kind of use the characters in unison to accomplish, various tasks and this and that in the game. And if one of your characters dies, they're dead. That's it. There's no coming back. And again, it's something I mentioned it in the review I did of Akira, where in the early 90s there was a rep for Nintendo, like in front of Congress, talking about how they would never have any violent filth like Night Trap on their on a Nintendo system because Nintendo's so wholesome and good. But here on the Nintendo Famicom is Sweet Home, a pretty damn gory and nasty game by 8-bit standards. Even by modern standards, there's like puking zombies and exploding pus and poisoning you, and images of just dead and ripped apart bodies, and so pretty violent. But Sweet Home, really great. If you ever get a chance to play Sweet Home, I recommend you do. Got a complete copy of Ganbare Goemon Gaiden. This is the Mystical Ninja RPG. It's not like a little, action game like most of the other ones are. This one's an RPG. It's fairly fun. You're still playing as Goemon and his buddy, whose name escapes me right now, Kid Yang and Dr. Yang, whatever. But Ganbare Goemon Gaiden, pretty cool. For the Super Nintendo, really fun action game by Capcom, another like fantasy title of theirs. It's Magic Sword. Magic Sword is really fun. Basically, just a side-scrolling, you're a dude with a sword, killing shit, and then you get little helpers. You free people from these like dungeons, and then they help you out. So you get like ninjas and wizards and all kinds of stuff. So Magic Sword, really awesome game. Got a complete copy of Ryuko no Ken, otherwise known as Art of Fighting, really good 2D fighter by SNK. Got a complete copy of F-Zero, which I was very happy about. F-Zero is a great racing game with a superb freaking soundtrack, really awesome game. And I got a copy of Banjo-Kazooie 2, known elsewhere as Banjo-Tooie. I think it's kind of lame. I actually prefer just Banjo-Kazooie 2. So there you go. Banjo-Tooie for the 64 complete inbox. And that's all the Nintendo stuff I got recently. Alright, now I got a decidedly small stack of Sega stuff, but still some pretty cool stuff. So first up for the Saturn, it's Daytona USA Circuit Edition. Actually haven't gotten around to playing it yet, so I don't know what really makes it different from just the regular Daytona USA, but I have to assume it's good. Daytona USA is good, so presumably that one's good too. Daytona USA Circuit Edition. Dreamcast got a copy of Tetris 4D. It's a 4-player Tetris game. Pretty cool. And also on the Dreamcast, I got a copy of Psychic Force 2012. It's kind of like a free flight fighting game, which is mostly projectile fighting and stuff like that. Psychic Force games are pretty fun. This game, let me read the title. It's Osomatsu-kun Hachamecha something. I can't read the kanji, but it's Osomatsu-kun. This was one of the very first games released for the Mega Drive in Japan. It's a 2D platformer, and it's really trippy. It's an extremely colorful game. Makes full use of the Mega Drive's color palette. I think that was kind of the point. It literally was like one of the first 4 games to come out for the system, kind of meant to, I guess, maybe showcase the graphical power that it had at the time, and it does. It looks really cool, really trippy. This game, it's advanced, I think something or other tactics, something like a German campaign or whatever. I got this game solely because of all the people on the cover. So you got like Hitler and Stalin and Roosevelt and whoever the hell the Rusky was at the time, I don't know. But it's basically just a tactical war-fighting game where you're playing as the Nazis. It's September. It starts at September 1st, 1939, 0445. Deutsch wa Poland ni. And then a bunch of kanji I can't read, but it starts with the Germans invading Poland. So, there you go. This one I can't read all the kanji. I know it's something Okami no something 2, but it's by Capcom, and it came out in the States as Mercs. It's a top-down kind of Ikari Warrior Commando style game. It's pretty fun. I'll just call it Mercs. And this last game, it's called Magical, in Japanese, Magicaru Hatu no Butobi Tabo. Magical Hat Turbo Adventure. This game, really fun action platformer. It got reworked and came out overseas as Decap Attack. So this is the Japanese version of Decap Attack, which looks nothing like the US version, but is the exact same gameplay. So it's a Magical Hat Turbo Adventure for the Mega Drive. That's all the Sega stuff I got recently. Got all of this stuff for the PlayStation and PlayStation 2. Let's take a looky-see. Got this game here simply titled Inuyasha. It's an Inuyasha turn-based RPG, and it's pretty cool. The animations during combat are pretty sweet. Really, big stills taken from the anime Inuyasha. This game is actually pretty sweet. I knew nothing about it when I got it, but it's Cosmo Warrior Zero, and it's just really fun, like action shooting game, and there's also like a versus mode in it, and it's just fun. It's based on the anime. It just the art style looks so familiar. I think there's another one called like Galaxy Express or something like that. But anyway, Cosmo Warrior Zero, really fun game on the PlayStation. Got a copy of Bushido Blade 2. Basically the exact same game as the first Bushido Blade, I just think with some added characters and weapons. Got a copy of the original Guilty Gear, which is awesome. I really love the Guilty Gear series, so happy to have the first one in my collection. This one I gotta read the title. It's Rasetsu no Ken, which I don't know what the translation is. This game came out, it was Samurai something in the United States. Maybe it was like Soul of the Samurai, that's what it was. Soul of the Samurai by Konami. It's an action game where you can play as either a samurai or a ninja, and not a survival horror, it's more of an action game with some like horror elements to it. But yeah, in the States it's called Soul of the Samurai. It's pretty cool. I do suggest you check it out. Really good game by Konami. Here we have a copy of Crash Bandicoot 3, which is awesome. All the Crash games on the PS1 are really good. Happy to have that one. This game really surprised me. I had remembered hearing about it somewhere from someone. They said it was something of an underrated game. It might have been actually on GameSack that I heard of it. This game, I found it for like $2 in a bargain bin. It's called Hermie Hopperhead. And this one did not get an international release. I don't think it did. It came out in like '95 for the PlayStation, so a very early release. And it's a 2D platformer, and it's a really fun one. Really looks good, good soundtrack. You're like collecting these eggs and stars all throughout the level, and then at the end you can divvy up the stars between the eggs. And the more stars you give them, they'll hatch into these little monsters, or not monsters really, little animals more like. And the more you give them, the more they'll kind of evolve, and the more useful they'll be as you're playing the game. They'll attack things for you and collect stuff and things like that. So Hermie Hopperhead, really good 2D platform. I was actually very surprised with that, pleasantly surprised. And these last two games complete my collection. I was trying to get all of the Rockman Complete Works games, and now that collection is complete. So I got Rockman 5 and Rockman 6. Both really good games, just Mega Man 5 and 6 on the PlayStation with some newly upgraded soundtracks. So it's classic Mega Man music, but with, just overhauled for some CD quality goodness. So Rockman 5 and 6, love those games. And then the whole stack of PS2 games here. This one, Vampire Panic, it's an action RPG. It's just not very good. The combat is just like slow and clunky. And I don't really care for this game, but it was $1 and it was called Vampire Panic, so I figured why not. Ridge Racer 5. I do like the Ridge Racer games, just good old-fashioned arcade racing. So Ridge Racer 5, right on. Another series I really like, also from Namco, it's Ace Combat 5. I've always liked the Ace Combat games. Really fun. They're not, really fast-paced or anything, but for whatever reason I like them. I like the slow pace they have. And it's not, I don't want to say it's not so much like a flight simulator, it's just, I don't know, it's somewhere in between. It's not an arcadey game per se, but it's not a flight simulator either. They're just fun. Ace Combat 5. This one, Kunoichi, pretty much a sequel to Shinobi on the PS2. Really fun, fast-paced action game. Kunoichi, if you've never tried it, you probably should give it a try. A copy of Shaman King, which is a fighting game, but it's not a very deep fighting game at all. It looks pretty cool. The cel-shaded graphics are nice. Lots of speed lines, makes it look like an anime and things. It just doesn't play very well. Shaman King. Copy of Astro Boy. In Japan, Astro Boy is called Atomu. This is actually a really fun game too. Free flight, punching the hell out of huge monsters, grabbing and throwing things around, shooting laser beams and stuff. This is like if a Superman game was done right, it would probably be like Astro Boy. I really do enjoy this game. Pretty cool. And it did get a US release, so maybe check it out if you come across it. King of Fighters 2001. Pretty awesome. I've always liked the King of Fighters series, so every time I see one I try to pick it up. Also King of Fighters Maximum Impact 2. This came out outside of Japan as King of Fighters 2006, and it's the second of the 3D King of Fighters games, which are not nearly as good as the 2D ones. Here it's a collection of the two Last Blade games, also made by SNK. Last Blade, I think, is like SNK's like really underappreciated 2D fighter. Most people think of SNK and a sword fighting game. They think of Samurai Spirits, which is, they're really good games, but I actually tend to prefer the Last Blade games over the Samurai Spirits games. Here, a copy of Hyper Street Fighter 2 Anniversary Edition. Unlike the US version, this one does not come with Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, which is okay because I already have that game. But it does still have the Street Fighter 2 animated movie on it, so pretty cool. Hyper Street Fighter 2. And then I got Street Fighter Zero Fighters Generation. It's just a collection of all the Street Fighter Zero games and Pocket Fighter. So this is an excellent collection. Very happy to have it. Also got a copy of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Honestly, after the first Metal Gear Solid, I'm not really a huge fan of these games. Honestly, I didn't even play 4 or Rising Revengeance. I'm just not into this series anymore. It's just, in my personal opinion, I think it's a little overdoing it. It was cool in the first Metal Gear Solid when it was kind of a surprise. It was really cool. Now it's just going through the motions and stuff. Which, in my opinion, Kojima's best games are Snatcher and Police Knots. That's just me. And lastly, also from Konami, I got a copy of Silent Hill 2. Very creepy, scary, and fun survival horror game on the PS2. So that's Silent Hill 2. Really cool. And that's all the stuff I got for PlayStation systems recently. Alright. Finally, I get to this really big stack of PC Engine games. Some pretty good stuff in here. First up, F1 Circus, which is an F1 racing game, but it's top-down. Plays a lot like Rally Chase on the Neo Geo CD. So, F1 Circus. Got a copy of Break In, which is just a billiards game. So, whatever. I'm not into billiards, but it's cool. It was $1, so add it to the PC Engine collection. This one, I gotta read the hiragana here. It's Jin Mudensho. Jin Mudensho. It's kind of an over-the-shoulder, in the same vein as like a Space Harrier or whatever, but you're a samurai and you're running along the ground and you can jump and you're slashing at things with your sword. So, again, Jin Mudensho. Pretty cool, not so bad. This one is called the Kung Fu. This one did come out in the States and elsewhere, but that one was called like Chinese something, Super Chinese, or the Chinese Fighter. I don't know what the hell it was called. It's the one where the dude that looks like Bruce Lee just walks across the screen and punches and kicks things. But here it's called the Kung Fu. Got a copy of Ninja Warriors. Pretty sweet, arcade style, just almost like something along the same lines as a Splatterhouse, where you can only move this way and that, and you're killing a ton of enemies, except in this one you're robot ninjas, so that's pretty cool. Got a copy of Bloody Wolf. I like this game quite a bit. It's another game that's kind of like Commando or Ikari Warrior, something along those lines. And it's really fun. You just shoot things and throw grenades, and that's it. Pretty cool. Bloody Wolf, which did get an international release, by the way. Got a copy of R-Type 1, which is just the original R-Type, and it's very fun, challenging game, but very fun game. R-Type 1. And then another side-scrolling shooter, a really good one too. This is Aero Blasters, and I like it. It's good. It's challenging. The way you get power-ups is a little hit or miss for me, because you'll shoot this big container and it'll explode, and all the power-ups will come out, and you just try to grab the one you want. And that's kind of, sometimes you'll grab one you don't want by accident, and that kind of, fucks up your game a little bit. But Aero Blasters, still a really good side-scrolling shoot-'em-up. This one, another game in the same vein as that Nazi game I just showed you a minute ago. Super something other tactical. It's I don't know, simulation game. Let me read the excerpt on the back. Before you know it, you'll be engrossed in it. Push your decision-making ability to the limit. Predict ingenious strategies. More than anything else, face the moment of truth. While playing, you'll become oblivious to everything around you. Come face to face with yourself. It's just a tactical war-fighting game. That's not very fun. Here we got another side-scrolling shoot-'em-up. It's called El Dis, or El Dis. Pretty fun, a quote-unquote cute-'em-up. I don't know what else to say about it. Just pretty fun side-scrolling shooter. Got a copy of Super Darius by Taito. All the Darius games are pretty cool. It's fun to shoot up a bunch of robot fish. Got a copy of Space Adventure Cobra, which is one of the first PC Engine CD games. And it really shows, it's kind of graphically, really primitive for one of these types of games. But it is kind of an adventure game along the same line as a Snatcher or something like that. It's a lot of dialogue with some action sequences. So pretty cool. Space Adventure Cobra. This one, an RPG, is called Far East of Eden 3 Kabuki-Den. Pretty cool turn-based JRPG. The main character is this dude on the cover, Kabuki. He's kind of an asshole, actually. He's a real dick. He's a boozer and a womanizer, but he does have a pretty awesome sword, so I guess that makes him the hero of the game. Yeah, Far East of Eden 3 Kabuki-Den. Next up, Cal 2, another adventure game, but with a kind of trashy edge to it. It's like another one of those like all chick, where it's not a hentai game, but it borders on it for whatever reason. So Cal 2. This one, it's a Super CD-ROM sampler. So it's got basically demos of Far East of Eden 2 and Dragon Slayer, which I don't know why I even got this. It was like $1. I already have both of those games, but it's a demo disc for the PC Engine CD. This game, pretty damn fun. It's Dungeon Explorer 2. It's just a top-down action RPG, kind of in the same vein as, I don't know, maybe Zelda or Utopia, something to that effect. But with lots of dungeons, obviously. Dungeon Explorer 2, pretty fun. Next up, this game, Fiend Hunter. It is kind of an action, not RPG per se, it's more or less just a straightforward action game. There are segments in between where you got to go to town and talk to people and buy items and figure out where you're going next. But then after that, it just goes to straight up action stages. And it's pretty fun and pretty cool anime cutscenes. So, Fiend Hunter. This game, I love this game. It's a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up. Here it's called Winds of Thunder, and elsewhere it's called Lords of Thunder. And you're like this knight, and you're flying through the air, and you're blasting the shit out of all these, demons and monsters. You can choose your armor before each stage. You can choose which stage you go to. You can buy all power-ups and stuff before you go. This game looks and plays really good. It's a lot of fun, but the best part about this game is probably definitely the soundtrack. It's just this awesome, like, symphonic heavy metal soundtrack with lots of wailing guitars, and I just really like this game. So Winds of Thunder or Lords of Thunder, whichever region you're in. If you get a chance, if you like shoot 'em ups, try this one. It's really good. And last game I got, I almost like wet myself when I saw it because it's a game I love on the NES. It's Downtown Neketsu Monogatari, aka River City Ransom, and it's the PC Engine CD version, which is excellent. It plays more or less exactly like the NES version because you know the PC Engine controller is more or less just a NES controller, and so it plays the exact same, except the graphics are upgraded, but not like so much so that it doesn't look like the original. It looks more or less like a cleaned up version of the original, and then the soundtrack is all the songs from the original soundtrack on the NES, but they're beefed up to CD quality music, so the soundtrack is amazing. This game looks great, sounds great, and it still plays just as good as it did on the NES. So again, that's Downtown Neketsu Monogatari for the PC Engine. I was super happy to find that one. And that will conclude this pickups video. I hope it didn't run on too long. I hope I didn't get too dry and bore everybody to tears. So as always, everybody, thanks for watching. Please take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.